100%. That's right. There's a 100% chance stocks are going to go higher. At least that's what 68 years worth of history tells us. So, what exactly happened today? Well, stocks extend gains after a win streak on optimism and jobs report. Nice. It's time to party. That's right. President Trump is probably happy today. Happy Friday to everyone who was here. Trump's scoreboard is the S&P 500 and it's Wall Street's best hope. I would agree. So now, do we take Trump seriously and literally, or seriously and not literally? I know that's a little bit nuanced, but let's go back to the tape here because this is really important. Look, the bulls have won. I mentioned we could go higher after we broke out because we were tracking our Bitcoin pattern. And that's exactly what happened. Bitcoin did it, and now it's going for more. Is that what the S&P could do? Hey, who am I to argue? Who are you to argue? We're going to look at evidence today. So that's right. It's a bit of a party. And here's what's important. It's right in the note. On Friday today, we're closing out bullish. It should have been easy, and it was. We closed above 551. So 4 out of 4 bullish. 4 out of 4 bullish for the daily by getting 2 candle closes back above that 50 DMA, or basically the blue line. So we did it. And what's really curious here is that now QQQ, or the NASDAQ, is trying to run a test to the 200 DMA. Look at this, right? Really, really big areas. Does this low volume really matter? It does for me, but hey, who am I to argue with price? Price is king. If we look here, that's actually really curious here. So we didn't save it by 5 cents. I would call that probably close enough. Here's the really curious thing. If we look here to QQQ, we actually close on the 50 MA, but below our neckline. So our neckline here is all the way back to 503.52. If we look to SPY, what did we do? Well, let me just check here. Yeah, we closed below the 50 MA, but we actually closed above here. This invalidated it. Over here, we actually failed. So am I wrong? Well, again, I'm using evidence-based analysis. So yes, I'm wrong about what I thought would happen, but the evidence suggests we are bullish on the daily, on the weekly, and as of right now, we would probably flip this to 1 out of 4 bull for now. And the reason for that is because if we go here to our recipe, again, very simple recipe, what do we have? We printed a higher high. So let's go back to our notes because if we can close above there, we go to 2 out of 4. What's 2 out of 4? It's 50%. So coming into this month, we were 75% bearish or cautiously bearish. And now, again, bearish until a higher high. Well, we got that. We printed the higher high, 467.42. We got 568.38. So we got over it. So the fail breakdown, which I'm pointing to here, that's all of the green boxes. We got one here. Hey, this time could be different. Maybe it isn't 2022. So what does that mean? It means we have to now wait until the end of the month. But just holding 568, hey, that's all it's going to take. 567.42. So we're now back below that. So it's technically a fail, but not to overcomplicate things, I will walk you through that. This chart is also higher today. It is important. Why is it important? Because it's the 10-year Treasury note. It's closing higher in the last 5 days. So if now we come back and do for full circle, why are we up for 9 days in a row? And I'm going to ask you for a huge favor as you can consider reading those notes. Could you please consider smashing that thumbs up or subscribing to the channel? Thank you very much ahead of time. Pause the video if you need to. The notes will get updated on the Sunday video. So 9 in a row, right? Oh my goodness. Is it time not to sell in May? Because in 2020, 2001, again, if it's not 2022, 2023, 2024, hey, nice gains. 12, 10, 6, 0.6, 13. That pesky 2022, right? Yeah, that pesky 2022. So the 68 years goes back to 1956, which is the first data point here. We can see 56, 62, all the way through to 2022. Here's what I find curious. They say makes a new low after 50%. They say yes. And then 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months out. Well, it's past 2023. I'm not sure why they got question marks here because the data is in. So instead, what they do is they say, since 1956, when this occurred, the index went on to all-time highs and was higher 12 months forward 100% of the time. Unless you remove the 1 here, which means it's not actually 100%. And that was in 2022. Or Jackson Hole, more pain to come. Who was that? That was Jerome Powell. You might want to pay attention to Jerome Powell. He talks next week. So stocks extend their historic streak on trade optimism and jobs. And again, the only time it didn't happen was 2022, which is the headline we got yesterday. The economy contracts for the first time going back to 2022. So, hey, 100% chance if you omit the data, but 2022 wasn't so pretty to us. I could also be wrong about this. Again, it's a roadmap, it's a guide. If we look to the levels, getting all the way to R3, we're above the 50 weekly. Man, the Bulls did it, right? They crushed it. They got a touchdown this week. Nothing happened in enemy territory, which means we opened and advanced. If we look here on the weekly chart, we're going to see that too. Got a little bit of a tail, but never really came down to support. Only a little bit of a tail here. Same thing as last week. And we closed at the high of the week, which implies more upside. I think the really big question is, are we going to turn around? Why would you say that? Why would we turn around? Well, because the last two times we poked over this neckline here, again, going back to 2022, what follows the nice big green candle? It's a reversal. It's a reversal. But they also have upper wicks here. This time we don't have upper wicks. So again, the only thing that's for sure is that nothing is for sure. Moving forward here, here's more evidence going back to 2022. Again, the monthly chart, the weekly chart. All right, well, tell me what happened today. If we want to see what happened here into overnight, this is what happened. China is quietly exempting about a quarter of their imports. Nice. So then what happens? Man, we went up more. And this was into the morning when we what? When we got that, that's at the part two. So this was on trade optimism and then non-farm payroll here. So came in at 177. The forecast was 138, came in at 177. Average hourly earnings are down and the unemployment rate is flat at 4.2, right? Is that perfect? Hey, it could be. So the S&P went higher for a 20-year win streak. And now we also heard that Carney and Trump, they're going to meet on Tuesday. This will be very curious because they say they're bending the knee, but they will never kneel down. All right, the distinction is important. GDP now for the second quarter has been revised to 1.1. And here's a key takeaway from what China said regarding de-escalation on that 40 billion. It's really a strategic effort to match Washington rather than a gesture of goodwill. Because they say, if we fight, we will fight till the end. If we talk, the door is open. And what China wants us to emphasize, blah, 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 we've already read that. I want to read this one here. And the reason why is because we're actually told as of May 2nd, which is today, according to FactSet, what the earnings for the S&P are, right? EPS surprises are on 62% of stocks. It will mark the second straight quarter of double-digit earnings. And going forward, the part that's here, guidance and valuation, that's the important part. So for Q2, 35 S&P 500 companies have issued negative guidance and 26 positive. So there's more negative than positive, which means going forward might be a little bit more difficult, notably if we get distribution. So distribution is basically selling off large blocks of stocks carefully and to make sure we gradually sell it, to distribute the stocks, to make sure we don't go down. This is as of like an hour ago. This is dark pool prints on $3.7 trillion, dark and lit, and we can see that they're basically all losses. S&P, they traded $223 billion, red. We look here to IVV, HYG, negative 23 million, negative 21 billion, million. Looking over here, NVIDIA, they made a couple hundred grand, but they also traded 98 billion. Whoa. So the numbers aren't really that impressive. They're actually red. So Mike Wilson is looking for four things. Deal on tariffs with China, a dovish Fed. We could get both next week. Rates coming down on the back end. I showed you the 10-year note. It's not going down. And here's another warning. Fear is actually, we're actually more into fear than we were yesterday. But didn't stocks go mega up? Yeah, they went mega big up. Look at that. All right, 1.4%. NASDAQ's up 1.4. Shouldn't we be higher? Yes, that's the whole point. So Jerome Powell's going to speak next week. And I think everyone's wondering what he thinks. Notably, what do those fingers smell like, bud? Because right now it's Trump versus Powell. And we're going to find out who has more wherewithal here. As of right now, going into next week, there's a 97.5% chance they're not going to cut. Only 2.5% they will. This morning, this was at 50-50. Now it's a 62% chance he's not going to cut or pause again in June. All right, that's it for today's video. So you can subscribe or come watch the video with me on Monday morning. Thanks so much.